Hey guys, this is Kirob speaking, and in today's little dev update we are going to take a look at the current progress towards the light campaign v4.1 and all its features. We have been making pretty good progress since we started after the public release of the light campaign v4.0, and I wanted to show you a few cool things that are on that list and that have been completed or partially being completed already. And let me just give you a brief overview of that. This list that you know from before is now marked green and yellow, where it is either completed or work in progress, or with significant steps forward being made already. So as you see, it doesn't look too bad. We're getting there, and lots of cool stuff. So let me show you just a few things of these. First, let's start a new campaign game and see what options we have in there in the advanced menu, and that should already give you a little bit of a hint at what is going on. This has been expanded, and there's some more room in here now. This is going to be moved, or this is going to be moved here probably, and then we have this space for some more stats that you can set. And what do we have here? Well, that's the standard settings, but in here we now have an engineering time slider that is not hooked up into the score multiplier just yet. But if you think engineering times are too low or too high, you can change that. Also, if you just want to have a quick, easy game, how about 25% engineering time? But one of the biggest issues with that engineering time probably was not really the engineering time while you were playing, apart from a few tweaks being needed, but rather the very first car, because that is such a huge opportunity cost. And we're going to show you that to you now. Oh, also market volatility needs to be hooked in, but it is there. If we start the campaign and design the first car, then you will see that in the engineering, your total engineering time is actually quite low, despite 100%. And that is because for your very first car project and engine project, you get 36-month reduction in engineering time, so that you get your first product out there quicker. And that means that you also have to take into consideration your retool time for the factories a bit more, because if you're going to upgrade your factories on the very first move or build them from scratch, you might as well build a car that takes you another 36 months on top of that, because the factories are going to take a while. But you can squeeze it out within the first year, even if you try. As you can see here, this is not cutting any corners. So yeah, how about an engineering time of 0? Yeah, no, that means it was done. It was done already. So this bonus is going to disappear, and if you have set any kind of difficulty setting in the campaign setup for your engineering time, then that would appear here, how much reduction you're getting there. Speaking of planning ahead, we now have a different tab in here for the R&D department, which shows you what car bodies are coming up and what variants are in there. As you can see, this is where you have unlocked, to what part you have unlocked and what is available there. And when you click them, you can see what variants are in there, and you can scroll through and so on. So no more guesswork in that way. And that will also be part of what is shown in the actual selection when you design a car grayed out. That's not implemented yet, but you will be able to see something like 5 years ahead, but you are not going to be able to select those car bodies, but at least you see what's coming up. I think that will be quite handy to plan ahead, so that it's not like going into the car designer every year to check what bodies are available. But yeah, this makes things a little easier. Also makes it easy for us to spot where there are no cars and where there are way too many. Oh look, the Hansmobile. Oh, not quite. A yearly financial report is also available. That of course doesn't show you anything. I should load up a game and just show you. One sec. Okay, not quite as easy, because old save games are not compatible because of the massive changes that we are undertaking under the hood for the under the hood and above the hood for the Light Campaign v4.1. So yes, but I've seen it in action. It's working. Like, these are what you are seeing on the company finances. Well, not here. On company finances tab as well. So it would be the equivalent of these expenses and revenue, of course, in your yearly report. And what you get is a detailed breakdown of all the different categories of costs and also earnings. One thing you do see in the calendar already here is that now we have separate sections for the engines. So cars and engines, that means you no longer have to do guesswork as to what is taking how long and why your car project doesn't actually start engineering until much later. Yeah, because probably your engine project was locking you out. That's a question we get from many newcomers to the game for sure. That is all good. There will be some new functionality that is added to the calendar, and one of these is already in, and that is that you can pretty smoothly go between a larger view where you have a better overview. Once you have more trims and so on, that will be quite handy, so that you have more in one screen. Another very important thing that has been added and still in need of testing is that from this hub view you can create new factories, but also you get the option to tool them for a specific project. And that is because you now can add factories to a production, to an existing production, without having to facelift that project. So you can design a factory and then select what kind of car that one is for. Build factory with tooling for a specific car project. So for that you need to select a certain project. For example, that one, the Mark III, you need to select what facelift you want to be producing in it as well, and then that factory will automatically be joined into your existing production for the car. Or engine, of course. So that's also great. But now something for you sandbox playing people. Let me show you a few things. First up, let's just stay right here and have the folder mode activate. Well, it's not really a folder mode, it's more like a tagging mode. So I have 4 cars sitting here, and that is a, let's see, update tags. Well, this one doesn't have any. This one has the tag shitbox, and this one has the tag hammer XX, and this one has the tags shitbox and hammer XXX. So now you have all the tags that are available sitting here, and once you click them, you can just filter your cars like this. So this basically works like folders. If you want it to work like this, then you would only ever give one car a single tag. But if you want to, you can give them several tags. Like one of them, as you know, was tagged both hammer XXX and shitbox. So if you want to filter them both, then you can. So basically we settled with a tag structure instead of a folder structure, because that fulfills all purposes instead of just one, where it's a folder and you have to try and search what folder you actually put a certain car into. Here you can just search for it, and it would automatically update as well. So you can do tag searches, and it would autocomplete as well. That is not implemented just yet, but it is on the chopping block. Another thing that already is implemented is car comparisons. You can now load in a different car and see how it stacks up. Well, these would be identical, or almost. So let's compare it to a different car. So now you have the direct comparison to another car in here, just like for the engines. Well, the graphs aren't being compared because that would be a mess. In this one, for instance, that wouldn't look good. But yes, so car comparisons are now in there. Something else that you are probably looking forward to is this. Look at that. There's a hoist here. What is that one doing? Oh, raise lower car hoist. Let's check it out. There you go. There you go. up and down, up and down, up and down you go, up and down, up and down, and that is probably what most people are going to do for way too long. But yes, so car hoist is there. You can also hide it and have, oh, sure. Oh no, oh my god, my car broke. Nah, it's just a little weird. So now you've probably also seen that there is another little option down here, and that is edit window transparency. Yes, that is actually working now. So you can make windows entirely disappear, just knock them out, or be very glassy, like that. So yes, window transparency is now in, and you can see how ugly it looks. But the big but with double T and single T at the same time is that we now have 3D fixtures. They're already working. Let me show you what that means from just the point of view of something ridiculous that is easy to show it with. So let's say you place an exhaust, right? So you place down that exhaust in a completely awkward spot like this. And now, you see that little option here down here, 3D? Change fixture to 3D placement mode. Aha, they are no longer conforming to the car. So what you can do is... yes, have it come right out of the window, or even be way behind the car. How about that? Well, that's of course just stupid. But what that means is that you can place things in the scene in 3D, for instance, like seats in the interior and a dashboard and stuff like that. And maybe what would be really handy in this situation, a friggin' firewall. Thank you very much. So of course we do have a 3D fixture category as well, where all that kind of stuff will be going into. We have not a distinct plan yet for what fixtures to add to start with, but I'm sure that modders will fill that real quick with these new tools available to them. You can also place things like around the car for photo shoots, of course. That will be very handy. Something that is also coming but not quite implemented yet, we are still in the drafting mode of that, is that you will be able to choose convertible options. And there will be 6 of them. So if you, oh well, 6, 3 at a time, depending on what kind of body you choose. If you're selecting a soft top, there will be removable, manual and automatic, or soft top of course. And then for hard, there will be the same thing. The Targa version, the manual version, and then the fully automatic one. And they have quite different stats, so that will be a lot more fleshed out in this version of the game, 4.1. Also, the back end for defining lights and what they are doing is already in, and that will be part of the exporter as well to BeamNG, so that you can yourself define what lights are in what group. Are these blinkers, or are these, well, so, yeah, not blinkers, and you use them for creative purposes. You don't want to light up your whole car when you're using them as nuts and bolts instead. But I think this is a nice summary of what has been put in already, and we are, of course, this is all very, very early stuff, and there's still loads of more things to do, as you were able to see with that list that I provided. So yeah, I think that's it for now, and I shall keep you updated on the progress. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.